Welcome back to Franchise Hockey Manager 11 with the Philadelphia Flyers. As we start the 2032-2033 season, we are once again one of the favorites to win this year. Hopefully we can manage to do better than what we did last season, just only going to the conference finals, but then losing out in Game 7 to the eventual winners. Michkov is going to lead the way. Utah and Boston are also prime candidates, and Anaheim rounding out the top four there as a dark horse. McDavid is still kicking around at 35, and Hoggins is also there, but Dominic Morand looks like he's leading the way for Chicago. I did see a couple interesting things. I'll get into that in a little bit, but first, let's look at what we managed to do this offseason. We gave up Fisher and Southern for a 5th rounder and a 4th rounder, which we then picked up people that might not even start. So we just ended up getting rid of it more so for cap because Southern was around $3 million. And then we ended up giving up Mintyukov for a 3rd round pick, which we then picked Cam Ward, but we'll get more into that later. Then we ended up giving up Iginla for a 3rd round pick to Chicago. And then Eklund for a 2nd round pick to Detroit. Eklund probably wasn't going to play for us. He is a 3-star player, and he does look pretty good, but he was just kicking around the AHL. And more so a fringe player for us anyway, so that's pretty much what we ended up signing to do for that. We'll take a look at our draft and kind of explain a little bit more as to where we are with that. First round pick was Bobby McLone. He's an 18-year-old right D. He looks pretty good. He only graded a 56 last year, so hopefully in the NCAA he's probably going to be able to do a little bit better. Doesn't look too great to start. His leadership and professionalism are the only things that stand out, but we kind of took a chance at him because of his overall and the fact that he was projected to go 6 overall. So hopefully that ends up changing. Just looking at it, his physicality is definitely lacking. His defending's also lacking as well. Conditioning is pretty good, and that is the only thing at the moment. But he is conservative. He is pretty good at playmaking as well, and hopefully he can manage to develop into something. Stephen Wright was our 2nd pick. He is currently in the OHL. And we ended up getting him with the Okulov trade that our GM did last year. So a right winger here, 3.5 potential isn't too bad. Defensive read is pretty good as well. Stick checking as well, so he could be a defensive player for us as well. He was projected to go 17th. We ended up getting him with our 2nd round pick, which isn't that bad. Bobby Gray as well, who will probably end up playing in the NCAA. This guy, we just ended up looking at his stats, and I was kind of amazed that he didn't end up going yet. It does say only 2.5 star potential, but he was projected to be a 1st round pick as well. So we took a chance on that. We'll look at Ward as well. Already 6 points in 4 games. Center and a right winger. And I mean, he doesn't really jump out, but his temperament's pretty decent. His determination is at least a 14, and it's kind of what you want for a 3rd round pick anyways. So Cody Ward is that. We'll take a look at Watson and Crow. So Michigan State Spartans is pretty much what jumped out for me. His determination is 15. He has decent balance as well. His puck handling is 16, and I feel as though he's probably going to do pretty decent. 83 points in 64 games is pretty good. He's projected to go 72, and hopefully he can manage to do well for us. We did manage to get a couple of Americans and a couple of Canadians, so a little bit less than the European that we ended up getting. We did get an accolade for signing the very first Japanese player. I mean, for a late pick, doesn't look too bad. It is only 1.5 potential, but his offense looks pretty decent. There's nothing really else to pick, but we just decided to grab him because that's kind of what he's projected to go at. And I mean, it was kind of cool to get a Japanese player. But taking a look at the league, there's one thing, well, actually 2 things, but we'll take a look at it first here. Bedard, he ended up going for 12 million and a half. Originally, he was asking for around 16 or 15 million, I believe, over 6 years with no trade or no movement clause. And honestly, I looked at him in the free agency, and I almost ended up pulling the trigger. We could have got him for around 6 million over, or I think over 6 seasons or 4 seasons, but ultimately I couldn't do that to Michkov. I feel as though if we end up getting Connor Bedard, he would have stole the limelight from him and completely ruined from the save. But if I was just playing by myself, 100% I would have made that decision to just end up grabbing him for a league minimum, pretty much for his ability. But taking a look at, someone did mention in the comments that they did want to look at what we end up doing for our lines and everything. So we'll go more in depth on that. Let's go back to our team here. And we'll take a look at more so our tactics. So yes, it has changed over the last little bit. We do typically go for what's the better fit for everyone. So strict positional for our breakout. Power play breakout is cut. Most players can play that, but sometimes we end up changing it to up the center or swing as well. We're mostly back checking often, and we end up switching into often in passing and then a high tempo. We don't hit that often, so we don't want to get as many penalties, and we don't really have as many big body players to end up doing that other than defense. We're more of an attacking minded team, and aggressiveness is mild again to hopefully not get as many penalties. We're not too much in terms of pressure, but sometimes we end up changing that if I feel as though we're on kind of a cold streak, and we kind of rotate it just a little bit. But as you can see, this is more so our tactics. We kind of go through whatever's a good fit. I know stand your ground, typically pursue aggressive is not as good for us, and then even backup isn't as good. So actually we'll do backup for that. Retreating box, bad fit, but I don't think we have anything that's actually good fit. 1-3 and aggressive press actually could be it. So we'll probably end up switching to aggressive press. It looks like Carlson's the only one that can really do that. Collapse from the net. We'll switch to, I think, hold on. I think we did diamond first. No, not rotation. Press, no. And we'll kind of go with what's the best fit. It's going to be a rotation, so a decent amount of people with good fit, but Eriksson, Cat Clear, not as good. I swear I switched this before, though. I think it might have happened when I just ended up clicking what I clicked on. A 1-2-2 lock for tactical settings, and a strict zonal for the most part. So hopefully you end up liking that. We'll go more in depth if you want, but for now we'll just get the season started. I think once we hit 10 seasons, we're going to probably jump probably 3 seasons ahead, like we did last year, just in case it gets bored, and then we can start another series after this one. Do apologize, everyone. I'm still getting over a cold, so hopefully I can still manage to make this out and not sound too raspy and cough. So if you end up hearing it go silent for a little bit, it's probably because I turned off the mic briefly to let out a cough, so you guys don't end up having to hear it. But I should be feeling better, so I think this is going to be one day late. So it's been kind of difficult juggling work and then doing this at the same time while getting over a cold. So we will have some more of a consistent schedule over once I'm healthy. Probably do smaller videos than long ones, like what I did with the other saves as well. and have one long-term one, and then have a couple just one part episodes as well. Once we start getting the challenges underway, as well, we'll do some historic challenges, which should only be one episode each, and then we'll just make our own challenges for All In as well. I think Leafs are probably one of those teams I end up picking just for that, and see if we can manage to at least get them out of the first round or even the second round within 3 seasons, which I think is very doable, but obviously we're trying to make it as realistic as possible. Never want to see someone just end up doing whatever they can and kind of find the cheats in the game. So we'll try and make it as realistic, and then kind of just guide it in terms of what we would actually do. So put our little twist on it as well. Don't want to manipulate the game in any aspect for that. So we do have Tannhauser and Carson. Tannhauser actually took the starting goalie position away from Carson. I mean, his mental and his goalie rating are pretty good. I mean, just rebounds and recovery, and then reflexes. That should set the tone for everything else. But we'll kind of see how well he does throughout the season here. First game of the season is a 5-3 win, so not bad. Stenberg ends up getting his first. Demidov gets his first as well. Martin with a hat trick in the third. We did just sign him also to an extension. We'll take a look actually at some of the players that are primed for more money later on. Michkov with $9.5 million after this season, so $1.2 million more than what he's getting now. And then Rybkin getting $7 million. I might have to do something about that, but he should be good. It should be a nice 1-2 punch still. Stenberg is now at the $4 million mark. And then who's the other one? Carlson, 1.5. And then Martin, because of his season last season where he got 72 points, he was prime for a raise there, so we ended up giving it to him. And then Smith also $5 million per season next season. Janssen also getting $2 million, but he looks like he could be our top defender over the years to come. He's only 23 years old at he's 6'1", 216. And our goalies, we're getting at a discount at the moment. Carson's going to get a little bit of a pay raise for next season, which is backup money for sure. And I think Jonah Tannhauser is going to definitely get much more than that. But we do have a decent amount of contracts next season, so next season will be interesting. We'll have to kind of make difficult decisions as to where this organization is going and how we surround it around Michkov. But yeah, the next 2 seasons are going to be definitely telling, and then we'll know the direction we would go, and then we can go the 3 years in the future. We now face off against Utah. I'm going to stick to the same game plan. 8-7 loss, that is rough. Carlson with the goal in the first, and second is super confusing. Looks like we give up the lead pretty harshly there. Luchenko gets a goal there, and Drysdale gets a goal as well after coming off of UCL surgery. Michkov with his first, and then Stenberg and Yerix also get goals. Dylan Gunther ends up beating us in overtime there. So 1-0-1 after 2 games. And now we head to Minnesota, and hopefully we can manage to turn this around. I mean, at least not losing in regulation is pretty decent. But I do think we're going to miss Spencer Knight, who did just sign with Toronto, though. We could have also got him for, I think, $3.5 million. but ultimately I decided not to pursue that. 4-6 loss. Martin scores. Yerix gets a shorthanded, and then Yerix and Martin end up scoring as well. So Michkov kind of not really showing up. Drysdale now getting criticized. I think Tippett's kind of bouncing around whether or not he's playing for us or not. So one of the decisions we might have to do is buy him out next season, which will kind of be tough. We now head to Winnipeg as well, and then we end up facing off against Detroit. We're now bottom of the division, but obviously some teams have played a little bit more than what we have. So hopefully turning this around, we win 4-1 away from home. Michkov with his second, Martin with his sixth. Wow, Martin scoring a decent amount of goals. Ripken and Tippett getting on the score sheet there as well. So 2-1-1 after 4 games. Detroit is top 2, so that's going to be a bit rough. This will be a telling one. Martin now league leading in terms of goals. It's a good start for sure. I don't think our goalies are going to really pop up on the wins list or the save percentage list unless Carson has a good game. But we'll have to kind of decide who we're going to end up taking with us for that next step between the two of them. 3-2 win at home. We give up 2 in the first. Luchenko ends up breaking it in half, and then Ripken gets his second, and Demidov gets his second as well. And we end up winning in regulation. And it looks like Penguins are going to be the team to beat this season for sure. I think Bedard definitely elevates them. And I might be kicking myself a little bit not picking him, but obviously we have to... we can't ruin this series just by making it easier on ourselves. We have to do something that's realistic, and Connor Bedard ever being a free agent is 100% not realistic. 3-2 win there again. Svensson with 1 goal, Ronberg with another, and then Ripken ends up scoring in the third. Cole Caulfield already has 6 goals as well. We now head to Carolina here, and Carolina is not doing too well. 3-6-0. And hopefully we can just add a 7 to that or turn that 0 into a 1. And one of our defenders is already injured. Why wouldn't we just... Alright, I'm just going to put him to injury list. And bring someone up, because that seems like the most realistic thing to do. I don't know why we'd want to play with him being injured. There we go. And look at that, he's going to start anyways, so... Find that super odd that they're just okay with playing. And again, 80% for a facial cut seems like a reach. It looks like Cahoot's going to start over Renberg though. Stein's also one of our rookies, and he's getting the nod there for us. 6-3 loss. Of course, we lose to a terrible team. Janssen gets his first though. Luchenko with his third, and then Michkov with his third as well. Ultimately disappointing though. Should never lose that kind of that game. 11 games already. They've played almost double than what the New York has. And New York's starting strong, 5-1. And Carson's going to get his first opportunity here to start. And he wins 6-5, so still gives up 5, but ultimately we won Smith with 2 in the first, and then Fyodorov with his first of the season. Carlson with his second, Drysdale with his second, and then Stenberg with his third. And then ultimately we did give up a goal in the third, but we already had enough to spare at that point. Stenberg now injured as well. Really? Okay. We'll just put him on to injury list as well. And bring in someone. We now face Vegas at home. Yeah, we played against Carolina, and then had to go all the way home against Buffalo, which I find still super odd. Whoever the road manager is, definitely has their work cut out for them. We now play Vegas and Pittsburgh, and we'll have to take a look at how well we're doing after that. We'll take a look at who's available on the trade block as well. So early on, we do win 7-3. Svensson, Carlson, Michkov, and then Svensson with 2 more. So Svensson gets a hat trick in the first. Demidov scores 2 in this game, and we end up winning 7-3. 6-2-1. Now top of the league, and New York looks like they're now falling back to grace there. Michkov, minor facial. Alright, that's disappointing, but he should still be able to play. Yeah, he should still be able to play. And then we'll have to switch off Carson there. See if we can manage to beat Bedard and the Penguins. And we don't. Bedard scores, yeah, of course he does. So the only goal that we end up scoring was Fyodorov. But ultimately, that's pretty disappointing. Pittsburgh's going to be a tough team. And it does suck that the team in our division, we're going to have to face off against Connor Bedard. But such is life. I guess there's nothing you can really do about that. We'll just have to worry about it in the playoffs. Florida might be our last game before we end up looking at everything. Yeah, we end up winning 4-0. So his first career shutout, Svensson, Smith, and Yerix, and then Fyodorov end up scoring. So after 11 games, we're 7-3-1. 2 of those losses being against Pittsburgh, and 1 of them being against Carolina. Fyodorov is 12 assists, not bad at all. So currently 6th in the league, and we'll take a look at how this roster is starting to look. Obviously, we're not going to be able to get to some of the players that are injured, but Fyodorov with 15, he was bouncing around the AHL last season, and our AI didn't want him to play for us, so I ended up bumping it up manually, and it looks like I made the right decision. Luchenko with 12 points in 11 games, Martin with 11 in 11, and then Carlson with 11 and 8, and then Ripken with 11, Svensson, and then Michkov only with 7. He started off strong, but I think with the injury, he's going to kind of slow down just a little bit. Goalie-wise, the part that we're more interested in, 857 save percentage. Carson has 857. Jesus, that is terrible. 1-1-1, and then Tannhauser has 6-2-0 amongst 9 games with an 894 save percentage. Goals against average is terrible. So we'll have to look at that. We might even have to grab a goalie in a trade because this longevity will not be able to last if we want to be taken seriously this season. So we'll take a look at the trade block, see if there's any goalies here. Logan Cooley's available, but you can never trade for him. And I don't see any goalies, so we'll have to take a look and see if there's anyone available because that is worth it to definitely cut people or send them down to the AHL. But we'll end up looking at that, and we'll jump to the trade deadline, and I feel as though we'll definitely make some trades from now until then. As we start getting closer to the trade deadline, we're currently in first in our division. Pittsburgh's in second, very close by. Same amount of games, 42 wins, and not too bad for us, if I do say so myself. This would be how many seasons in a row? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 straight seasons that we'd managed to at least eclipse 50 wins there. And taking a look at how well our boys have been playing, Luchenko with 65 points in 64 games, Martin with 60 in 64, and then Michkov dropping down to 59. He definitely needs to pick it up. Just recently started to get goals. He wasn't scoring for the longest time. I think he was stuck on 7 for most of the season. Then we have Ripken with 58, Stenberg with 49, and then Drysdale with 37, who's kind of had a couple bumps and bruises throughout the season. Demidov with 44, and then Carlson with 43. I'll take a look at the goalies, and I mean, 908 save percentage, not terrible, but 314 goals against is pretty bad. Carson's played 17 games, 12 wins, 3 losses, and 2 overtime losses. And then Jonah is doing a little bit better, 49 games, 30 wins, 15 losses, and 2 overtime losses. Carson looks a lot better than what it suggests. I don't think he's been playing as well as what I thought, but Jonah's probably the future for us. I mean, they're graded around the same, 15 and 16, but the 3.5 star is giving us the nod for Jonah for sure. 2.95 save percentage, or sorry, goals against average and 910 save percentage. And I mean, we're kind of shopping. I do think that we need probably a top player if we can. If we can get a defender, we should. We should definitely look into that. But a lot of these players are starting to get older. I wouldn't even mind Connor Helbig. How much does he want? As just even the backup for us, but 7 million is a bit too steep for us. I don't want to pay that much for him. Rizal we were looking at as well, but he's more of an offensive defenseman, and I think we need to focus more on a defending defender. I think next season will probably be better for that. Cole Beaudin's also on the block. And then Nathan McKinnon, I mean, he does switch teams. That is, he's only 58 grade. He does end up going to Montreal instead of staying with Colorado, which I find just disappointing. It's one of the reasons why we didn't end up signing him. Moritz Seider. Let's see what's going to take. I mean, they're willing to deal, so I will give them that. 4 years though. They're going to have to retain half of it. There's no way I'm going to pay for that. Another right D though. We'll give them a right D back. So maybe not. I'm not even sure where he's going to pair, to be honest. Aubin, Steiger. I mean, Tippett could go too. Tippett's starting to slow down pretty quickly for us. Can give up Saranac. He's probably not going to play for us. And then Olsen as well won't play for us. They'll probably accept this one, though. I feel as though we should be giving up something more. So we'll give up a defender as well, just so we're not completely ripping them off. I'm just not sure which one I want to get rid of. Donald's nothing. Ronberg. Prudhomme. Is he playing with us? No. He has 70 in the AHL. I don't think I want to get rid of that. Clear. 65 grade. Now, I guess we'll do this. We'll add a pick. We'll give him a 5th. And let's make that deal. Let's see if he slots on top for us. And he does, yeah. Not too bad. So I'm not sure where does do we have injured players? No one injured, but I don't see Drysdale. Drysdale's sitting for right now. So that'll be refreshing. We'll be able to kind of rotate between it. I think that's probably the best move. We'll take a look at our team. I think center's also a focus, maybe. I do think our bottom center is pretty lackluster. So we'll look at that for sure. Trade block for center. See, this is what I don't understand. I think I saw them say that they're aggressively trading. Nothing. Obviously, they don't want anything. We will give them. We'll give them everything that they want. And see. First round picks 2. And they still wouldn't want it. You're telling me that for 3 first-round picks, they wouldn't trade away this guy? They will never accept this offer. It's not even like it's close. Jeez. Obviously frustrating. That's the one thing that I think they need to fix, is just the reality of it. If they want to get rid of players, they should be very much so available. And, I mean, giving up 3 first-rounders should be pretty well for anyone. I think anyone would give up 3 first rounders for certain players. Bolduc looks like he could be okay for us. We might pull the trigger on that. And again, yeah, they're not going to be willing to deal for cheap, so we're not going to even worry about that. I just want a little bit of an upgrade. Berkeley Catton seems... We could easily just get both players. Alright, let's see. Alright, we'll actually give an offer here. Ternaka, no, we just signed him. Mers is the one that I'm hoping to replace. He's graded pretty terribly this season so far. Yeah, we'll give up Vic, Valentini. We'll give up some of our youngsters. Does open it up. So Vic being a 3-star potential, he could possibly even come up. And let's see. St. George, no. Vertanen, yeah, we'll give up Vertanen. Oh my god, okay. Now you have to get a Red Wings player back. Why do they always cap out the most? Oh my god. There's no way that they want Wong. That is ridiculous. Alright, we'll go for the... Who is this? I swear, they're not even that good. You don't want to move. There's no way they're really digging deep on this one. Alright. What the hell? Alright, so they still want something for it. That's so ridiculous. We'll give them a 4th rounder. Yeah, so they still won't accept it. What the hell? Yeah, what they're willing to accept, that's definitely a bug. For sure. We'll give up another pick, let's say a 6th rounder. What's the problem? It can't be that player. If it's that player, I'm going to be absolutely shocked. Alright, let's just go Fisher. Alright, I'm upset at that. We're gonna move away. Before I actually get even more upset, NATO. Faceoff's decent, playmaker. And alright. Kinda do the same thing. To start this off. Valentini. They want more, which is fine. I'm not going to give up Merce. I'm not willing to give up on him yet. And we'll give up Vic. Yeah, Vic. He's not even doing that great in the AHL. Points-wise, yes, but grade's only a 65. Yeah, we'll give up Vic. He's still young. And we'll give up a pick as well. 4th rounder like what we did before. And we got NATO. That's good. So hopefully Mers ends up getting sent down. Which I think he does. Yeah, so Ripken, where does he go though? Okay, that's fine. NATO can kind of stay there and then slot in when we need. I don't mind that one bit. So looks like our team is good for this trade deadline, and let's see if the chemistry ends up kind of rolling. I do like the fact that we got Sider. I'm already a big fan of him anyways. We might even extend him depending on his age, but I know with Drysdale reaching higher up in age, it's going to be a bit... oh no, I think he's extended for 4 years. So could mean that we could part ways with with Drysdale too, though, because I do see him continuously get hurt. And we'll do it once again, just to see. So Drysdale's playing. Ronberg gets bumped down. So Drysdale first, Sider second, and then Janssen and Ronberg on the bench. So not too bad. NATO's now second line, which means Barkey's on the bottom. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. And then Michkov on the top as well. So let's say first game that we end up playing with this team, we win 3-1. NATO gets his goal, Janssen and then Stenberg. So not bad at all. Does push us up to 90 points in the season with 43 wins and 7 more wins for that illustrious 50-win season. Which, I mean, it's crazy that we've only won one GM of the year or even coach of the year. So it's kind of crazy when you think of that. Is that we've had that many seasons with 50 wins and only one trophy like that. Or award, I guess. Not really trophy. But we do near the trade deadline. I'll look at again last minute, see if there's anything else that kind of jumps out. But looking at our team, it still says center is a weakness. I don't know how long NATO is, or NATO. NATO's still 1 year left on its contract. And let's look at who's available still. Rubric, there's no way to be able to afford him. Hoggins, again, we can't. Honzik and Raymond. Alright, let's see. Yeah, obviously not. Elota. Yeah, they're not going to give anything for him. Oh, they actually might. For a first round pick. He is 30 though. 4 years left. It looks like they're full rebuild though. Definitely trying to get rid of all their players that have been with them before. Keep clicking on the wrong things. I mean, he didn't look too bad either. They're willing to deal him too, Jesus. 26 years old. He's probably looking for a massive pay raise though. 69 grade though. I mean, he does look pretty good. I just wonder where he would slot. I'm not willing to give up on any of our players that are going to be developing. I think next year is more the year that we would probably need to do that, is pick and choose. But I think we're going to stick with the team that we have here. 5-1 win. And Fyodorov with 2, Luchenko with 1, and then Svensson and Tippett score in the second. No goals in the third to speak of. And not too bad at all. Nadeau with 49 assists though. So that should help us in the postseason. Definitely makes this team good, good in the short term. And hopefully good in the playoffs. At least we'll be able to deal with an injury. But knowing that one of the players that we acquired is probably going to get injured. But at least with Drysdale being kind of injury prone, at least in the regular season, sometimes he does have it happen to him in the postseason. And at least we have some form of security there. We do lose 4-1 though. Yurik's with the lone goal. Sider ends up getting an assist on that as well, but still 92 points where we sit on. And Columbus is a garbage team. We keep losing against these bad teams. I think we've lost to Columbus at least twice this season. We've lost to New Jersey as well. But we typically beat the better teams. Oh, Tampa has had our number this season for sure. So if they could go on a streak now, that would be very, very reassuring. And we lose the team that we acquired their players to in regulation, so no points there. And Boumedienne is definitely one of those players that we should have probably considered. Stenberg gets his 19th, Drysdale, Martin, and Janssen getting points there as well. 6 games away. That's what we really need. And we need to fend off the teams below us because Pittsburgh could easily end up passing us, and we obviously want the best matchup possible. And we'll adjust everything once more. Sider now getting top spot there. Demidov, Svensson, and Yerix get on the score sheet in the first, and then the second is Stenberg, Michkov, and then Michkov again, and then Nadeau ends up getting a goal in the third. We could extend Nadeau as well if he fares well. I'm not as I don't really like trading for older players just because you don't really have that chance to really re-sign them because they regress a little bit too much. And I think even re-signing Tippett could probably been a mistake. The only good thing is at least he's extremely popular, so we do get jersey sales from that, but we don't really get to see that cash like firsthand. Fyodorov, Rybkin, and Nadeau with goals in the second, and then Michkov with the goal in the third for his 20th of the season, which is criminally low with 12 games remaining. But 46, 20, and 4 is our record with 12 games remaining. And Jonah is doing pretty well in terms of same percentage as well, so we'll hopefully be able to cruise through this without too many injuries. 8-3, Sider gets his first for us. Kaklir, Rybkin, and Fyodorov in the second, and then Drysdale, Luchenko, and Fyodorov, and then Luchenko once more end up scoring in the third. Josh Doan is now with Calgary, and I did look at making a trade for him at some point in his career, but he didn't end up leaving. And I mean, it's one of those things where I don't really see him leaving in real life if he ends up playing well. If he plays terrible, then I can easily see that. But obviously, his dad being a top player for them as well, they wouldn't want to see him go anywhere else. That's why I kind of thought that Calgary was going to get a Ginla, but unfortunately they didn't end up getting him in the draft, which was rather disappointing. They should get at least one of the Ginlas. I know if I was a GM, I would probably take a shot at that because I don't think you get fired for a decision like that. Rybkin ends up getting goal in the second and Stenberg as well before Sider and Svensson score in the third there. Gives us 48 wins, two more crucial wins that we end up needing, and we end up eclipsing 100 points once again. And now we end up having to change everything up to face off against New Jersey, which Carson ends up getting the nod here. And let's see if I was right before. Yeah, he loses 5-4. That's why I said his record doesn't suggest how bad he actually is for us. Janssen, Fyodorov, Michkov, and Smith score, but ultimately not good enough. We end up conceding too much too early. And yeah, Carson isn't necessarily the greatest backup. I know backups, you don't really expect them to win anyways, but I mean, he was our backup last season. He's been our backup. I would have expected him to kind of ease into that role a little bit better. 3-2 win here. Simon Martin ends up scoring 2, and then Misa scores the third. Oliver Bonk, former teammate, ends up getting a point there as well. And he didn't really feature too much for us, but it looks like he's featuring a decent amount for Leafs, enough to even make him an assistant captain. That is crazy. 61 grade and a 58 grade. There's no way they're good. Like, Toronto can't be good right now. Yeah, they're not good. It does look like Columbus should get a top pick, possibly, or even LA. LA is definitely one of those teams that I thought would have done a little bit better than what they're doing in the save. And Dallas, after around 10 years, or 9 years, I guess, has fallen apart. Chicago never quite did anything, and then getting rid of Bedard was the most foolish thing they could have possibly done. And like I said, Drysdale injured once again. So at least we have Sider there. And let's see if we can manage to get win number 50. We don't yet. Sider ends up getting a goal, and Rybkin as well. And then Yerix scores in the third, but ultimately a 6-3 put down. And we're only clear for 4 points. One extra game at hand. 2 points now, but 2 extra games at hand. Demidov now hurt. Day to day. Can always stretch longer. See if we can manage to get win 50 against our rivals. And we do. We managed to get it in regulation. Michkov with his 22nd, Luchenko with his 26th. Janssen scores, and then Fyodorov and Carlson end up scoring respectively as well. Only 4 for Carlson though. Play 45 games. He should have a little bit more than that. Kind of bounced around the AHL last season. But 104 points, 50 wins once again. It does put us currently at the top of the league, but 6 games remaining, anything can happen. And I mean, it could be a President's Trophy, but I don't think it really matters. Chicago's a bad team, so you know we're going to lose this one. 6-4 win, so I was proven wrong. Misa, Carlson, and Carlson again, and then Stenberg with 2, and then Carlson again with is that a hat trick for him? Louis Carlson gets a hat trick. Not bad. Kind of goes unnoticed. 51 wins now. And I mean, mathematically, I think we should be good. Oh, Pittsburgh now behind us as well. So 6 games. I think a 1 win will put us through and make us clinch pretty much everything, I think. So win here does it, and we do win that. Smith ends up scoring Michkov with 2, and also a shutout for Jonah. Just improving. He could get the Vezina. I think Knight ended up getting the Vezina the year before. He ended up going to signing with Toronto on free agency. So last season he got the Vezina. Obviously we didn't see it because he wasn't on our team, but I still find that kind of wild. Islanders, this will obviously solidify everything. 5-4 win there, and not too bad. Rybkin with 2 goals in the second. Martin scoring his 34th. Michkov now up to 25, so much better than what he started at. We do win in overtime, so both teams get a point anyways. Demidov scored, Michkov scored, and then Fyodorov scored as well. And yeah, comfortably at 110. I don't see any team catching us up. And Boumedienne traded? Okay, I thought he was... I don't know why I thought he was on a different team there. Carson's now going to play once more. See if he can manage to win this game. 7-1. Yeah, Carson's terrible. Absolutely terrible. That's why I said he's not as good as what his record was. I was shocked when I saw that he had 12 wins, because I just remembered going on a massive losing streak. But it does look like Vancouver could get the Vezina there. Yeah, Vancouver's probably primed to get the Vezina. Bodinger, oh no, Anaheim. Yeah, Bodinger's going to get it for sure. Highest save percentage, or sorry, highest goals against and highest wins probably means that he's going to win it. Schumacher, though, could be our backup next season or the season after. So seeing him starting to emerge is pretty promising. But I think we won't sign him until we have to. So he'll probably be 23 when he's our backup, but we will maybe hunt for it in the off season and trade away Carson, depending. Rybkin 4-star now, could be 4.5, and Jonah now firmly a 4-star. So definitely our goalie for the future. But it's nice to know that you have 2 in your system. Rybkin doing well, and Komiyasu now 1.5 potential. So crazy if he ends up actually making our roster at some point. Because I don't know if that's an accolade as well. 3-1 loss there against our rivals. Fyodorov ends up scoring, but we ultimately just don't get shut out. And 3 players on top jersey sales, so not bad at all. I don't think we don't get considered here either. face off against Pittsburgh at the end, so it's a good thing we got those wins out of the way because we only have one remaining. And yeah, it won't matter, but it would make it very, very close if we didn't have those wins at hand to begin with. Because even if we lose, the only thing that they can get is 53 wins, and ultimately we're already sitting on an extra overtime win there as well. So no matter what, we can't go. But crazy race with the Metropolitan as well. We clinched the President's Trophy as well, no matter what. And Tannhauser ends up getting dropped as well. Let's see if we can get the last win here. Would be nice. Against Pittsburgh, another rivalry. We do win 4-0. That is promising for what's to come. Faceoffs 119. I thought that was shots on goal for a second. I was going to say shots were 34-22. That is alarming. Michkov with his 26th, Demidov with his 17th, Drysdale with his 14th, and Clear with his 6th. I will click a little bit there. I think everyone's at 82 now. And we'll be able to see who's going to finish at the top and who's at the bottom. It does look, and now Sider's day-to-day. Oh, that's fantastic. At least it's day-to-day. Can't get injured other than that. In terms of the league, though, we finished top of the league. 27-11-3 at home, 27-13-1 away, 6-2 shootout wins. That is actually pretty good. Bottom is Buffalo Sabres, though, being hunted by Kings and Detroit. So Detroit could easily flip this around. Chicago could get a top pick, and same thing with Jackets. Leafs end up finishing towards the bottom again. So pretty fantastic. They are balanced, though, so I imagine they finished worse than what they should have. But it does look like we're facing against New Jersey, which ideally I wouldn't want to play either one of those teams. I'd probably rather play Pittsburgh, actually. But it is what it is. It's kind of too bad that the top teams can't just pick who they want to play. But we'll look at our roster and look at how well everyone did. To end the season, Luchenko with 81 in 82 games. Michkov turned it around, 79 and 81, so finishing strong, but still not a point per game. So a bad season, I would say, ultimately. Rybkin with 77 and 81. Nadeau with 77 and 80, but he did get 10 points with us, which isn't too bad. Martin was 69 and 81, so a little bit less than last year, but as long as he's more polished out, it's fine. Stenberg was 66, 2 points better than last year. And then Drysdale kind of dropped off a bit, but I think he got less minutes once we got the trade. 55 for Fyodorov. He started off very strong, and then just let the better of him happen there. He did have 17 points last season, so definitely an improvement. 53 and 80 for Demidov, which a little bit less than what he's been accustomed to. 12 points in 16 games for Sider, so we'll miss him, hopefully not for that long. It does say day-to-day. Smith gets 50, so roughly around the same that he did last season, and then 46 for Svensson and Carlson with 46 as well. So look at our goalies, and Jonah has 42 wins. That's still pretty impressive. 66 games and 911 save percentage. So obviously we're going to be rocking with him come the regular season. Carson with 12, 5, and 2, and 901 to end it. So we'll take a look at even at what we did last year. Last year we were roughly around the same for goals for too. So it kind of just got split up evenly throughout everyone else. But 42 wins for second place. He's obviously going to be one of the nominees. Could even be a Rookie of the Year too, actually. That I think of it. Vezina, he's not even considered in the Vezina. That is wild. 31-20. This guy got... Alright. And then Goose as well. Wallstead gets 39. None of these... There's no way. They shouldn't be considered. That is just ridiculous. Calder, he doesn't even get nominated for the Calder either. I mean, these guys are pretty good. Lowry 72 points. Verdignan, I don't even know how to say that. And then Reese. Like, I mean, someone should have been able to beat out Reese. Not nominated for anything else, it looks like. And yeah, we're gonna go in there, and we're gonna go in there vengeful, because not being considered for any awards despite being the best team in the league is criminal. Absolute criminal. So we face off against New Jersey, and hopefully Sider's back. But I find that dirty poor for sure. Sider's still injured. He's gonna sit the first game. And Demonov now getting dropped to the second line, or third line there. Nadeau, Martin, and Svensson as the second line. Everything else looks pretty similar. So far this season, 3-2 loss, a 2-1 loss, a 4-3 loss, a 2-1 win, and a 5-4 loss. This looks like it's going to be a tough matchup for sure. Yeah, they definitely have more wins than us, so hopefully we can manage to at least dig deep and not get to knocked out first round here. Game 1 though, we lose 6-2. Oh my god, this is how it's going to start. Martin ends up scoring in the dough, but in the third, after the game is already out of reach, and we're down 0-1. I hope Sider's back. That is the one thing that we desperately need, but I didn't even realize how bad our regular season record was against them. So Yerix is now hurt, so he's going to sit. Game 2, let's see if we can turn it around. We do win 4-1, thank God. Ripken, Michkov, and Stenberg and Janssen score. We now head to New Jersey. At least it's not too far of a drive. I think we're gonna drive. We're gonna take the bus. We're not gonna fly. We're gonna save the gas mileage or the gas money, and just drive down. Kind of stop off a couple places along the way, and let's see if we can manage to win game 3 here. Keep us alive. And we lose 6-1. Oh my god, this is bad. Martin ends up scoring in the first, but ultimately that's all she wrote. 2-1 deficit, so we need to win to get back into this. If we don't, there's not even anything that we can really complain about. Fyodorov's injured, sure, but we should easily be able to come back in this, right? Game 4, 2-1 loss. Oh my god, Michkov scores, and that is all she wrote. That is rough. 3-1, we're going to get knocked out for sure. See if we can come back at home, at least not give them the satisfaction. A cut ear. Terrence Smith, get your act together. He is at least going to play, though. On the bottom line, though. Yerik's at the top. I do not like that one bit. Game 5, let's see if we can keep alive. We win 7-6 in overtime. Oh my god. Luchenko with his first. Yerix scores. Nadeau, Martin, and Carlson before Smith scores. Thank god. And then Barkey ends up scoring in overtime. We do give up the lead, though, and the third is something to watch out for. But series 3-2. We head to New Jersey. We're going to have to win back-to-back, though. Yeah, an ailing ear is affecting... Get real here. Get real. Maybe we can bring someone up. Let's bring up Stein. Stein's going to come up. Kahut's going to come up as well. I'm going to bring up Steiger. Steger, whatever you want to call him. Yeah, that's ridiculous. We'll give options. So they're both obviously going to sit. And we're going to leave it at that. Now let's see if we can manage to salvage this and tie it up. 3-5-5-3, Jesus. We end up losing, and ultimately, out of this postseason, we should have been able to win, though. And let's see if the teams remaining. So San Jose, Nashville, sweep. Winnipeg looks like they're coasting. Same thing with Minnesota. Tampa up 3-2. Canadians 3-2 as well. And the top seed ends up getting knocked out. Islanders could beat Pittsburgh as well. Nadeau now hurt, but who cares? Why are you even telling me this? We're already out anyways. Yeah, 4-2 lead and ties 3-3. Tampa Bay 4-2 and 4-2 as well. Montreal ends up getting knocked out by Carolina. So two of the top seeds ends up getting kicked out. That is interesting. I really don't care what happens with the rest of this season, though. It's an utter disappointment for us to get knocked out so early. Tampa Bay, Minnesota 2-0. San Jose 3-0. And Islanders are going to beat them. I think it was just a matchup thing. They match up a little bit better against us. New York Islanders up 3-1 as well. Jesus. If Islanders win this season, I will kind of laugh, though. 3-1 and Tampa Bay 3-1. I told you I would have rather placed Hurricanes. That would have been my choice, but at the same time, yeah, I would have rather faced Pittsburgh instead. I don't even want to look at this. Latinen looking like he's pretty good. He was definitely the bargain for us. Pick 134 is what he was projected. We get him at 94. I think he's going to turn into something. We only have 4 million in the bank for next season, though. But we do have Sider still. We could even trade him away. But I think we keep him, most likely, and kind of iron out the bottom of the defense for sure. But ultimately disappointing. Jamie Benn, no. Can't bring myself to do that. Nicholas Backstrom, I think I will go with. Kovalev I could have done as well, but he never won anything. Minnesota wins 4-1. Honestly, I just find that so disappointing that we're out. Tampa Bay, come on, get over it. Tampa Bay should be able to win. They win, yeah. So Tampa surprisingly better than what I expected, but I'm surprised that 1-0 and then San Jose. I think San Jose should win. New York Islanders up 2-0. San Jose up 2-0. 2-1. And 2-1 as well. 2-2 tied. And 2-2 tied. Jeez. They're making it a difficult one. New York Islanders 3-2. And Minnesota lead 3-2. Someone's going to win, though. Tied now. And I think Minnesota ends up cruising through. Series tied? No way. Tampa Bay 4-3. And San Jose win. Wow. San Jose wasn't even, I think, was the bottom tier as well. I find that fascinating. Tampa Bay up 1-0. Tampa Bay's going to win again, aren't they? Tied 1-1. 88 points in the season, though. 38, 32, and 12. That is shocking. Tampa Bay 2-1. 3-1. So, yeah. Definitely thought Tampa had a chance. But it's crazy how Connor Bedard couldn't even get out of the first round, though. Looking like a true bust there. So one more game, it looks like. 3-2. And probably one more. Tampa Bay wins at home, I imagine. Or wins on the road, actually. I'd be interested to see how many teams end up winning the Stanley Cup on the road. Let's even this out. Come on. I wouldn't mind San Jose winning, though, to be honest. It would be nice. I have more of an attachment to San Jose than I do Tampa Bay. Hall of Fame vote, yeah, why not? Now you guys can see the players that I actually like. Obviously, Erik Karlsson, I do like him. Brad Marchand, say what you will, he should definitely be considered. Hedman as well. I do actually Letang, so I'm gonna have to take someone out. I think Karlsson's gonna have to come out. He never won anything. Bobrovsky only won one. Sean Burke never won anything as well. John Tavares never. I don't think he should be even considered. Kopitar has a couple championships. I can't believe I missed him. Karlsson is elite, but ultimately I don't think that he should be really considered in that as of yet. Tampa Bay ends up winning, so at least it comes from the East once more, and they managed to make everything look super difficult. And I think they were at the top. They're actually seventh. Seventh. Geez, what did they finish in the regular season though? division. They finished third, so they're the bottom of that one. But Pittsburgh couldn't quite win. Jason Spezza is their GM too. I find that kind of fascinating. And it does look like that's the end of that season. We'll take a look at how well we did in the brief appearance in the postseason. I mean, Michkov was 7 points, so he tried 7-6. Martin was 6-6. Luchenko with 5, and Nadeau with 4. But ultimately, most of the other players were relatively non-existent. No X factor for sure, but the injuries were kind of difficult. 872 save percentage. That is what did it. I can say that with utmost confidence. Jonah choked in the playoffs after riding such a decent regular season, and his grade was a 61. So 61 versus a 76 the whole season. Something's up there. So we'll have to kind of monitor that over the next little while. But he's still probably going to be our goalie. I think he's going to get one more chance. He is 6'7" and 250, so he probably covers up the whole net anyways. But we're going to still ride with him. We're just probably in the hunt for a backup, though. Hopefully you guys like this episode. Sorry we ended up losing in the first round. Leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. And thank you for watching. Until next time.